line. Check the radio, pit crew is far from slow. The lights no longer yellow. Ready, steady, go. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 In love with the ride. Burning rubber smells real nice. Fuel it up once or twice. Come on, fast is the way to drive. Crowds all on their feet, not one bothered by the heat. Imagine them in the driver's seat. Checkered flag would be sweet. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 Everybody get ready. On your feet. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Crank it up. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. Crank it.
Remember how I said last night, we are not booked for the rest of the day today, and then all of a sudden, we get the phone call up from the boys here saying, hey, we heard your little call there, Crusader, that we're ready to get the Green Flag Racing back out for our boys here at the East Coast Racing Circuit, and my first thought was, God dang it, I really should keep my mouth shut. But it's great to have them back on the show, and great to have you all on the show. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to PTM Racing TV, and welcome back, of course, East Coast Racing Circuit. They've been on a bit of a hiatus as of late here on the show, but it's great to have them back out, as currently we are in our open qualifying stages at the moment. Some drivers going through the field, working their way about, some on lap 10, some are on lap 8 or 9, depending on how you look at it. But you got a pretty good lineup here. 11 drivers here ready to blew horns. We'll look at them as we go through the field here. Rick Spencer Walt there in the 31. Yeah, Mike McMillan there in the 42. Tyler Botma in the 10, currently not on the track. There he is. He's trying to hide from us there. Brian Doty there in the 17. Got the Carter Casey here coming into your screens. Then you'll have the Forest Stephen Naylor out here. Paul Durkee in that 5 tonight. Robert Love there in the 44. Rick LePage in the number 9. And to round out our field, Kyle Jackson in the 6. And Justin Lawson in the 20 to round out the field here for our drivers lineup. 11 drivers in total are with us here, ready to lock horns and do battle as they are currently finishing up and finalizing their final laps. They have about 1 minute left on the clock before they will be ready to go to the race here. Let's head it down to our track tech talk for the evening and talk about this track in all of its glory. Of course, this is the East Coast Racing Circuit Trucks division. You used to see the Super Late Model division as of late up on the show on Saturday evenings. Well, tonight we are taking it back to where it all started with these guys. We actually started with the Truck Series and worked in that division for quite some time, but now they are back with the trucks. They decided that they wanted to move them to a different night, and we didn't follow through, but now we are back with them, and we are glad to be with these guys and gals. Man, there is a lot of great drivers out here that deserve to be shown up on the track and shown on our area here today. As you see right here now, that timer in the little top left of your corner there, qualifying means that's what they've got left on the clock here. 11 drivers are tuned in. We're with us, ready to field their way in. You'll see the Tower of Doom, and you will see you'll see the big one up top running around here every now and then. That will pretty much be what you will see all night long, and that will be what we will have throughout this event, throughout this race. And looks like we are finally figured out who will be our top 11 in position and in the gridding order. So we're going to let them settle themselves in and get rounded about here as they are looking to get the checker flag cleared out. They are now finishing up at the moment, and time is finally elapsing away. So now it's just a waiting game to see when they will get up on the track here. 75 laps to the distance here tonight for these truck drivers. Reese Kelva joins us in saying, let's go racing. Indeed, indeed, my friend. Qualifying still finishing up, looks like. Looks like they're having a little scoreboard malfunction there, a little delay. Oh, there we go, 50 seconds down. We now are ready to grit into the position. Here it is, folks. Let's get down to business here. Here, let's start them on the pole. As we mentioned before, Rick Spencer Wall in the 31 will be the number 1 qualifier to start off, but the 10 of Tyler Botma will be into his inside, or his outside. Row number 2, it's going to be Carter Casey in the 2. To his outside, it'll be Justin Lawson in the 20. Row number 3, it's Paul Durkee in the 5. To his outside, the 6, Kyle Jackson. Row 4, Rick LePage in the number 9. To his outside, Robert Love in the 44. Row 5, Stephen Naylor in the 4. To his outside, the 17 of Brian Doty. Final starter on the field, it's Mike McMillan in the 42 to round out your field here for the first showcase in quite a while for our boys here in the East Coast Racing Circuit, as they are ready to hit the lights on and turn the trucks loose here at Chicagoland. And they will come down the front straightaway. 1 lap to go now for the green flag to set the tone. They only have 1 set of tires tonight as well. Just a heads up for you there. So what that mean exactly? If they've only got 1 set of tires, well, unlike what you usually see with these guys out here, they usually are given about 2 or 3 sets to work with. This is a completely different ball game. But this is going to be more or less a take your time and do not make any big mistakes or big decisions out of the gate. You need to really lay off the throttle, stay in a zone, and stay in a position all the way through, and that can wield for some amazing races because it forces drivers to have to slow down every now and then and stay focused, and sometimes it can wield some issues for the drivers when they get later on in the race, and that can definitely be a bit of an issue on the scoring area, but that's what it's all about. Here we go. They will line them up in their position on the front straightaway. Looking for the green flag to fly. When you see those lights come on, you know it's time to go racing. Here we go. Out of the hole shot, out of the gate. Rick Spencer Wall in there in that 31. Moves to the inside. Rose pushes his way ahead there on the outside. Goes the 10 of Tyler Botma. Or Botma. I believe it's Botma, but I might be completely wrong. We'll have to ask him later on. Feels it in around out of turn 3 into 4 immediately out of the gate. Carter Casey trying to make some headways here, make some moves early on, try to hold his line and stay in this position. Isn't quite what we're used to seeing when we're running in the old Chevrolet models out there, but it's still pretty fun to watch nevertheless with these Chicagoland, these trucks divisions, as you got the onboard camera here on Botma. I'm presuming it's Botma, so we're just going to go with Botma. Somebody in the chat can help me out though. Please let me know. Is it Botma or Botma? I believe it's Botma now that I think about it. Well, the AC Delco number 6 there, Kyle Jackson right now. One of the 3 Canadians in with us here tonight. The one leading it out, Rick Spencer Walt, another Canadian running it through with Rick LePage in the 9 as well. Falling back a little bit, he's in the 8 spot. Currently not really any hard charges out on the track at the moment. Everybody's pretty consistent on how they're hitting their spots up and how they're running them on by. Here we go on the onboard with Paul Durkee. We'll talk more about the track as we go on through this race here, but there's one thing I'm going to tell you right now. Expect long speed drifts, drafts, and a lot of patience and timing when setting up those turns and setting up those corners, especially later on when they really have to be easy and weary of where they throw their truck into play and into line. A little bit of damage there on the Schneider number 10 of Botma there, and that old Toyota Tundra. not looking too good on the rear, but the front end looks pretty solid and stable, so that seems to be holding him out just fine. But he's getting a little bit more of a push here to Carter Casey there, up to Rick Spencer Wall here, as Rick currently has the race lead, but not by much, with the field trying to weigh his in. One big thing though we're going to talk about as time goes on here tonight is the lap counter and the lap times and how well they're holding out, or how well they're holding up on those turns and those corners. Because one thing is for sure, you got to be very careful about how much you give around here and how much you take, because those turns are going to eat those tires away and they're going to really tear them up as time goes on, especially considering the fact that they are running on only a one supply of tires. So you burn those up, you lose them, it's game over for you. Kyle Jackson knows all about that. He's one of the top guys to come out of the sport here for the Super Late Models and for the Truck Series. Last season we saw him really putting up a show and putting on a fight that I think a lot of guys were a little weary to try to take him on, but you know, he's been really making his game, he's been really taking his game face on and really showing up on drivers when he needs to. And I think he knows all about that and what he has to do to stay in that run here tonight. But Carter Casey there, and that Ford F-150, the heavy-duty machine, built for tough, is running solid as can be, and Hunters is a run. Trying to get up there to Frick on the outside now, maybe looking for a little bit of a push, a little run, trying not to burn too much of that tire up. Remember, they have 75 laps they got to deal with that on that track, so they have to be very careful about how hard they hit their corners and how they hit their spots up, especially later on when they really want to pull a run and a half there. You see the field kind of swifting their way in, shifting their momentum to the other side here. Steven Naylor in the 4 goes into the wall protection though. The Magnaflow number 4 into the wall protection, out of turn, on the back straightaway I should say, going into turn 3. See if that comes back later to affect him, but so far it seems like he's okay. He seems like he's getting a little bit of help from Brian Doty to try to push his way back up there. But will he have enough time to really get into the top spot again? Because he is a guy that honestly can be up in that top spot anytime in any place, depending on his situation and circumstance. He's always been one of those guys we keep our eye on, no matter where we go around here in the show. Managing their way through the field here. Still, it is Walt, Casey, and Boatma that are the three heavy runners, the heavy hitters, if you will, with only about 1/7 of the way through this one already. Pretty crazy. I think it seems like we just started up the race, and these guys are already pretty much closing laps down and taking this one on. And they've been throwing some good runs here and some hard pushes, but it has not quite go the way that I think they were looking for. Because you know, when they're trying to run hard, they're going to try to push those trucks to their fullest potential. But also, they got to worry about that tire limit, and they know it too. That's why we haven't really talked too much about the battles, because they're just not there, and because they're trying to save the tires up. And I think Carter Casey was listening a little too much into this, and he's like, oh, I hear you there, Crusader. Well, let me throw some runs down our way here. He challenges Rick Spencer Wall for the race lead into the inside corner. The 31 of Carter, or excuse me, the 2 of Carter, the 31 of Rick, trying desperately to corner him back down and push him back off that edge and keep him from getting the run. It's not going to be successful. We have ourselves a new leader in the making here. And it just so happens to be a guy that's got one of my logos up on my car, that Fox Racing Machine. I see you, boy. I see you. I love it. Looks solid as can be and looks pretty good out there. Boatman now there in the Snyder number 10, looking to challenge him in up on the Rick Spencer wall. You got a pretty good battle coming your way as we look at lap time here from Durkee and Boatman. Boatman right now, not quite exactly holding out Durkee, especially when Durkee starts to get it going. He's one of those guys that just absolutely will challenge anyone to their fullest and their biggest potentials, and he knows how to do just that, especially later on in the run as they corner up a little bit there out of turn 4 there. Looks like Boatman got a little too tight and managed to hold it off. And right now, currently, the way things are playing out, you would think Durkee has got a pretty good run in line of area here, but he hasn't been quite able to hold off everyone just yet there. Boy, you can just feel that momentum, feel all that power that comes with these guys. That's the thing you gotta love about it. Even though we know we're on a virtual plane in a virtual world, to me, sometimes it just feels like it's completely real in so many ways. And there's a little bit of trouble there for Robert Love in the 44 Bucky's machine. Not sure what happened there, but the only way to find out for sure is to go to the PTM Instant Replay and take a look at this one. We'll see what happened here as he was coming in. Looks like it was going to happen here out of turn 3 and a 4. Here is the PTM Instant Replay in all of its glory. Looks like just up a little bit coming out of turn 4. Tightens up really bad, and he has to open up his own lawn care service. Managing to save the truck. Very nicely done there, but it takes a lot of skill just to even keep that thing from going into the ugly planes. And when he brought it back up, he managed to keep everything nice and stable and nice and controlled, staying out of trouble. Unfortunately, though, he is still a little bit in trouble because he's fallen back quite a bit from the waistline here. A tough break there for him. So he'll fall back into last place. Robert Love, though, not a guy I think we will not see enough of around here. I think he will be back around here quite sometime soon. Speaking of quite some time soon, you want to talk about some guys that have been running hard and really making their names for themselves in this truck division. Rick Spencer Wald right now, who's doing a battle here with Carter Casey, is actually the points leader. He's got the points lead by about 12 points in the ratings. He's got 1 win. His average start right now is about 3rd, and his average finish is always about 2nd. And Mike McMillan, who also is in the race here tonight, currently up 6 spots. He's a hard charge over the night. He's up in that 42 machine. He is in 5th place at the moment with about 97 points, as we mentioned, with 12, but he does not have any race wins. However, consistency on start and about a 5th place finish. 3rd in the starts, 5th in the finish. Not bad for him on that end. And Justin Lawson goes into pit road. I think he's going to take his tires early or maybe get some fuel in there. Paul Durkee currently in the 3rd spot for the points wise. He's in 4th at the moment running, and he is with about 95 points there and no wins, but still some pretty decent finishes and some strong runs. His starts have been lackluster, but his finishes have been better. Brandon Coleman, who is supposed to be running here with us tonight, unfortunately could not make the show. We will not say why at any warn, but I will say this, Brandon, if you are watching, hope everything's doing okay out there for you, buddy, and hope you're all right. And from us at PTM Racing TV, we do miss you, buddy. Hope you're okay. Brian Doty as well. Brian Doty, another name, a household guy. A lot of folks keep their eye on here in that Budweiser 17 currently. He is in the 5th spot running. He's got 87 points there. And Justin Lawson, as I mentioned earlier, who's currently in pit road at the moment. He is at 6th place in the points wise, and seems to be staying in there for quite a while there. I'm not really sure if there's something wrong with the truck, or maybe he's just got some issues under the hood we do not know about. And then right now you got your race leader. Well, Austin has left the pit road as well, just heads up. Carter Casey, who is currently, race lead wise, even though he has got quite a bit of points on his resume and some wins. He's got 1 win. He's down about 73. He's down quite a few points. Only 73 points in that one. Tyler Boatma, who's currently doing some work here on Rick Spencer Walt, is in the 8th spot with 69. And then you got Rick LePage there in the number 9. Currently is 9th in the points and in, well, not in position right now. He's 6th at the moment, but in that 9 Napa Auto Parts machine here tonight. Kyle Jackson, not had the best season for him either. Only with 57 points, but he's still in that hunt and in that show, so he can always work it back later. And he's actually tied there with Steven Naylor, who is 4th right now, and you saw him having those troubles earlier. See if he can bring it back here. And then Robert Love with the other issues earlier, falling way behind the waistline. And then last but not least, up on the points ranking, Brandon Kiger has got the position there as the last guy in the field. So he'll have that distinction for the while, but for the time being still, Boatma managed to make the pass around Rick Spencer Walt there, and now Paul Durkee starting to move his way through the field a bit, making some charges and make some runs here. Pretty good crowd on hand here tonight, and I appreciate you all tuning on in. Glad to see some PTM Racing TV alumni, of course some other league alumni that we know from the show. It's great to have you all on board here watching some racing and hearing the commentation with us. You guys are usually kind of talkative in the chat, usually kind of quiet tonight. I'm surprised. Robert Love now exits off of pit road, so he'll be back out on the track here, and now it looks like Rick Spencer Walt will head in there, and he's going to have company. He's going to have Mike McMillan as well right behind him. So the drivers right now that were facing up for the race lead earlier on are falling back and putting themselves into pit road sooner rather than later. And that could be a bigger thing of strategy than it could be anything else, but I gotta believe with the way these tires are and the way this track is, I would say they're probably not going into getting tires, they're probably going more to get fuel. And that's what's really stepping them back a little bit and halting their toes. As you see right here, this is how the pit strategy looks right now for these drivers. Although that is definitely not right by any means. This should have been, there's at least a few of them that have already gone into pit road, but it looks like they haven't come out yet. So that'd be the reason why it's not popping up the way it should be, because we know they have gone into pit road at least once or twice. Some of them have. Rick LePage currently in third at the moment. Paul Durkee and Tyler Bowman are going to go into pit road as well. So the race leaders will head to the pit standings and into that zone. And how well will that play out for others, and how well will it play out for more of them? Rick LePage decides he's going to stay out, and he's going to take over the race lead here. We got ourselves a new leader. He has a race lead. He's currently trying to find the best time to go into pit road. And as I say that, I think I might have given him the old broadcaster curse, because he decides to put it in pit road now. And putting himself back into the victory spot here now, Stephen Naylor, after the little issue he had earlier on, looks like he has now put it into he has put it from pit road to the top spot. The Ford MagnaFlow machine has got the race lead. You gotta wonder how long will that last him in his strategy and how he's trying to play it out, as he's now moving forward so quietly and closer to Tyler Bowman there in that 10. Really just making some hard charges, some hard runs, but nope, coming out of the corner there, a little bit loose off exit, because he's trying to go down to the bottom and get the pit road, and he will send it to pit road now. And Rick Spencer Wall currently was the guy that was trying to stay out there a little longer than other folks and trying to keep his tempo going. Has now got the race lead in sight in his mind here, but he's got to find a way around Naylor if he can hurry up. Trying to beat him to the punch, trying to get there as quickly as he can. And you know right now he is going to take over the race lead once again, Rick Spencer Walt. Maybe the guy tonight to beat, maybe the guy tonight to keep your eye on. When all is said and done, he's doing a pretty good job so far, kind of working his way through and hanging it in there. Now, I'm not sure if they will be calling for a stage caution or not. It's been a while since we've talked with these guys and really worked with them up on the show. There's obviously a lot of stuff behind the scenes that really kind of goes into league races and all that, and some things we just are now, you cannot describe or figure out. And one thing for sure is, I know from running a league as well, is that it takes a little bit of a strong mindset and strong courage to get things fixed in and done right. And with the way things have been playing out, sometimes it's just harder and easier said than done to find time to actually go and get it broadcasted. So originally we weren't even scheduled to broadcast for the Wednesday night series, but due to some fortunate circumstances and obviously a situation being, well, reality, we still have one shot at opening as well to bring in another series that we were planning to bring in sometime in early April, the middle of April, around there. We want to tell you more about it, but we can't right now, so we'll just leave it at this and say, prepare to be expecting the unexpected. And speaking of expecting the unexpected right now, Carter Casey there in that 2 Alpines Fox Racing machine, trying to pull the unexpected maneuver and make away Rick Spencer Walt's race lead, but Spencer has just been doing his own thing, just kind of running his line in. Hasn't really had any troubles out there when it comes to holding an area and holding a line up. But again, it's one thing to hold a line and hold a run, but how about when you're trying to hold it for the entire race and trying to also survive through the nightmare and issues that's going to be plaguing yourself when you run out of tire on those threads. Those threads go away quicker than you know, and if you're not careful, they really can hurt you. And you can see right here as a 42, there at McMillan right now doing everything he can to get up there with Paul Durkee. This is your battle for third with Boatma, excuse me. Boatma right now currently up in the 5th spot. He's looking to try to pull a daily double. As we took a look at our pit strategy, you can see where the drivers are playing at, how they've been hanging in there. A lot of difference in mindset and area play. And Boatma knows all about that. Coming down out of turn 4. The Schneider number 10 makes a huge run and a half around McMillan. McMillan had nowhere to go on that high side and nowhere to push. Sets him back a ways, and a full throttle assault initiated there by Boatma. I'm not sure if he's trying to hit it harder on those corners and trying to hit it harder off so he can make some runs for the later half of this race or not, but give credit where credit's due to him. He's challenging him in, man. He's definitely giving it all he's got out there. Take a look at our new feature here tonight. We actually have something new that we've been working on for a while. This is our dashboard cam. So we're going to take it inside here and just take a quick look at what it's like when you got that dashboard working your way in with all that speed. Take a look to the left and then look to the right. Now to our European friends, that probably looks familiar. You know what kilometers per hour means. So us Americans, well, just think like this. If it goes up to the 290s, 280s, you're around, I'd say about 140 to 160 miles per hour, I believe, about somewhere around there. Just something new we're trying out, kind of trying to show the crowd up a little bit. Maybe always try to find new things and new tricks around here to use. And Paul Durkee in that 43 right now trying to get something going with the Win-Dixie number 5 machine. He's got Boatma right in his sights and right in his area of play, but hasn't got the push or got the charge up to the one he wants, which is that position of third. You know, Spencer Wall and Kurt Casey are going at it right now and dealing with each other. And speaking of that, actually right up front, here they are. Spencer and Casey are going to go at it. Challenging up for the race lead is Spencer. And currently the one trying to hold off the race win is Casey. And Casey right now staying to the inside zone, moving his way through the field. The 44 Robert Love there will now become a lap traffic. If they're not careful here. Oh, coming out of turn 2 though. Casey tries to defend off, tries to hold it in. Walt goes to the outside, pushing it through. I think he's trying to build a little draft there off that 44 as he builds way big momentum there into the zone. Once more, he now moves it ahead here out of turn 3 and 4. And from the battle for the lead to the new leader, Rick Spencer Wall takes over that one. Solid effort there from the Carter to Casey, but it was nigh because it was right there. Rick Spencer Wall just put a footful to the ground and put a footful to the throttle and put a pedal to the metal. And really sacrificed all he had to do to try to hold off Casey, but Casey not going to play too nicely to that. And I got to wonder right now is how hard they are racing. I got to believe they are setting up for the long-term game, and they have tires that they've set up for themselves to really work through later on. That's why they're running so hard. That's why they're giving up all they got at the moment. They're about ready to reach the halfway point. Actually, I take that back. They're already past the halfway point. That's why they're running so hard. I think they're right now what they're trying to do is they're just trying to situate for a little bit of a later run, a little later half, and then see maybe if they can get a full throttle integrity race there on the end. This track has wielded some of our best races and best moments. You can forget when Flyby Cup Series ran the All-Star Race event here and just absolutely tore up the house with an incredible display of hard racing and hard battleship. But that night, I believe it went to Mason Navy, Jason Thompson in the 14, taking it home that night. Hasn't won its race since then. And then when the Pedal Metal Racing League team came in here, those racing boys and girls came through, and they had a footful as well on the track. They were running them down the ARCA series and had some good battles there and some good runs. And that was definitely a close finish that could have been for Brandlinger and Archon, but it was not to be that night. Moving the chains in though right now, and then of course last time we were here was with Pedal to Metal. Was not too long ago, just a couple of weeks ago here at Chicagoland, and they definitely, in my opinion, put up a good show and put up a good run. But Bob Hutchings that night, man, he was just something else, and I think he was the guy that just kind of set the tone and set the favoritism towards his line for the fan support when it comes to that. But you know, at the end of the day, man, this is racing, so anything can happen and things change on a dime quicker than I can change a pair of underpants around here. Moving through the field here, and it is still Rick Spencer-Walt who has the early advantage in the race lead, and I'm still trying to figure out if they took the tires when they went into that little battle section there for a little bit past the halfway point, because they were running it so hard and so clean, it was hard to really tell if they did that or not. And the only way for us to know if they did is to check down with the crew chiefs, but well, we have no way of really asking them if they did or not, or what's going down, because well, the crew chiefs won't allow us to talk to them. We were told in the briefing before we even did this was that we have to leave the drivers alone. We have to, until they are under caution. We have to leave the crew chiefs alone under any caution or any word of thumb. And we respectfully obliged by that decision and respectfully obliged to not do anything about it. So we are currently leaving them alone right now. That's why he's currently just focusing all on the drivers and all on their truns and all their championship zones, which I think that's the way it should be around here. Kyle Jackson at 6, still having a pretty good night here for himself, still hanging in it. The 42 of Mike McMillan. Staying ahead there of the 44 is Robert Love. Love right now just currently maybe a little love struck by the fact that Bucky's 44 is just not grounding as much as he wants it to, in my opinion, and maybe not hitting as hard as he would like it to. And I think he knows it, but you know, that's one thing around here you have to be very careful about, is how hard you try doing anything around here, trying to push too much momentum and trying to push too much power in there, and it can really hurt you for the long haul. Justin Lawson and that Fury number 20 Chevrolet, he knows all about that. Had a bit of a rough going season here in the early part of last season, but then he kind of started to build it back up and started really chaining it in and got a race win in, and that's when everything changed up for him. On down the back straightaway here, Carter Casey still trying to hang in there with Rick Spencer-Walt. Casey doing everything he can at the moment to push his momentum up and push his boundaries to the full of the extensions. We are just under 30 laps remaining in this one, and it has been quite the show and quite the story. It's been the Casey and Walt show for sure on the race lead part, but you know, Boatma has not been exactly leaving the pack here or leaving the field around either. He's been pretty consistent in how he's hit his lines up and how he's been hitting his spots in. I just don't think he's been really getting the runs I think he was expecting or how he wanted to do around here. Let's go on board here with Carter. I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about the track and just how unique and how hard it is to really make good ground and positioning on this. So you see right here, a lot of guys are already kind of playing very similar lines. They're playing different areas. But one thing I will mention right here and right now is just, you notice how much you're turning a little bit to the left and kind of turning in more and more as time goes on. That's kind of the uniqueness of this track and how they set it up. It's because the way it's set is if you keep turning to the left, you'll get faster and faster and faster out there because you're not having to worry about those straight corners and trying to set up for the next turn. So if you're always turning left and you're always turning in there, that means the only thing you can do is carry a lot of momentum and power under the hood. And that's what's really making this race so well and so unique for him here. Rick Spencer-Walt, I gotta believe, saw Carter Casey go into pit road and has been thinking he probably should hit in there too. And Tyler Boatma will take over the race lead here from him, but I gotta wonder, will that be enough time for him to stay ahead, especially with the way pit strategy's been for here tonight. They've been kind of all over the place on that end of the spectrum. Man, Justin Lawson, unfortunately, after that little hiccup he had earlier on, just hasn't been able to get it back and hasn't been able to really push any boundaries or anything in that car. It's just been kind of, truck I should say, it's been just kind of slow down and rhythm out. Although you never know around here, things can change on a heartbeat and on a dime, but we don't know. That's why you can't just keep thinking one thing when really in another world, it can change on you and you wouldn't even know it. On board here with Brian Doty currently in second place, and currently the hard charger of the night. He's up 8 spots. Started in 9th and worked his way into 2nd, and as I say that, he's putting it down into pit road as well. Man, I swear, I just keep calling it when these guys are going into pit road. Oh, man. Do they got some kind of speakers built into those trucks to know when I'm about to say something about how they're running, and then they just go into pit road to try to get some bad juju off their minds? Like, what did I do? I think they're thinking I might have cursed them all and I might have got them in trouble. Well, right now we're leading towards our final laps here. Time is starting to expire away here, and Tyler Bowman goes into pit road. Durkee stays out. And let's go look at our pit strategy right now and see how exactly he's been running and what he's got in mind. You can see Bowman, out of all of them, has lasted the longest from driving out there and staying in that zone. So what does that mean in theory? Well, what it means is that Bowman thinks that he can get a really good, strong, hard haul, full throttle assault quick enough to actually get past the longer vantage points of where these guys are going at right now. You see Bowman right now currently is about 6'10 and a half off of Durkee, and Durkee right now is not really giving him anything to catch back up on. And Carter Casey and Rick Spencer Wall, well, no surprise there, they've been at each other's throats all night. That's no different there. See our lap time right now. Spencer Wall is doing a pretty good job getting closer up to him and really making his way through the field. The Alpine's Sheik Machine there, Fox number 2, trying to get everything he can to stay away there from Wald, but Wald is one heck of a driver when he gets that Phantom 31 around here. He's trying though, man. He's fighting. He's pushing, he's shoving, but he can't quite just get around him just yet. He's going to the inside corner, maybe looking for the run now as he will load it in. Not quite enough there for Walls, but go on board with him. Down the inside zone here, Rick makes a big crossover step around Carter Casey, makes the jump, makes his position, and fields it right around. Nicely done there. Brandon Coleman now joins us in here. He's saying, y'all be in trouble if I was racing tonight. Brandon, I'd probably be in a little bit of trouble too, in all honesty, if I was racing you out here, because number one, this is not my best track, but honestly, it is one of my favorites to run with the truck series. I think it's the only track I've ever actually got a race win on that was not street stocks and the asphalt stuff. And that was just because I was running against my friends, so hard to think. Reese Kelvin eating a 16-ounce steak. I don't even know where to go with that. Yeah, I know one thing where we're going. That's where this battle's going for the race lead. Paul Durkee is in deep, deep trouble here because Rick Spencer Wald has now found his groove and found his rhythm. And look at the green in front of him. And no, that's not the amount of green that Wiz Khalifa or Snoop Dogg usually sees on 420. That is the green of Rick Spencer Wald, moving his chains ahead and moving his run up closer and abound. Durkee cannot hold him off and keep his position in. And now the orange goes on Durkee. That's because he's slowing down a lot and he can't keep up with the pacing that Spencer Wald has created. Rick Spencer has taken the race lead once again here, folks, with laps winding down. 17 to go. Rescale, I wrote that when you asked why I wasn't that chatty. Oh. Ah, makes sense. Down to the back straightaway here. Paul Durkee doing everything he can to maybe get the win. Nixie number 5 up there back into the zone around Carter Casey there and Rick Spencer Wall, but you can see how much that truck is fading off. He can't quite catch that draft to catch that push that he had earlier on. It's falling way behind schedule and falling way behind when it comes to his position in ground here. Rick has the race lead at the moment here. We're going to take it to the cockpit view here and show you what he's got going on that dashboard here. Here is the dashboard here of Spencer Wald. He's already pushing up in the 160s. He's already pushing in that 165s, 170s to the 180s right now. He's flying hard, and you can just see how that RPMs are really glitching up and really running in hard. And for good reason too, because he needs those to stabilize in and really situate through more. But later on, Stephen Naylor in that 4 has nowhere to go and nowhere to really fight up in position. And Rick LePage might just be next on the chopping block here if he's not careful. He's about to be entered into a world of clapping that he has never felt before. Mike McMillan though in the 42, up 6 spots at the moment, the hard charger of the night. When you're up 6 spots and you start it back in the pack and you find a way to get into the top 5, then I would say that definitely deserves the coat of honor for the hard charger here. Doing a tremendous job staying in his comfort zone, staying in position. Lawson has to go back into pit road, and time is just absolutely elapsing and just going away from him. Spencer Wall and Casey, man, they're the only 2 drivers that can really put up any kind of runner's position here. And I think right now they know that they're in big trouble here if they don't get something figured out quicker. Time elapsing, time evading away here. Boatma there in the number 10 Toyota Tundra. And Brandon, if you're in the chat right now, can you let me know, is that how you say Tyler's last name, or is it Boatma? I think it's Boatma. I'll ask him later on. I think he's probably going to yell at me for how many times I butchered his name here on the show. But again, I'll tell him again, and I'll say it before. If I mess your name up, let me know. Come talk to me, and I will make sure that we get everything fixed up for the next race. So please do not hate the player. Just hate the way my pronunciation and my bad misinterpretation of names is. Kyle Jackson, the AC Delco number 6. Try maybe see if there's anything left for him in this one, just to get up to Mike McMillan. McMillan though, currently, if you look at the lap times here, has just been dogging it on Jackson. Jackson has not had any runs or any ground or position to move forward with, and he knows it really. McMillan's pretty much got that top 5 all but locked up in a pretty solid stay here for him and for his team, and a good job and a great racing and good driving on his end to really push the vehicle to its limits and try to push it to its power limit. Carter Casey there in the number 2, trying desperately to get up there to Rick Spencer Walt there in the 31. Spencer has been having himself a sizable day and a whale of a time, and right now he is still the race leader by a good margin here. Well, you can just see how tight he is heading that white line and how he's having to corner off. He knows the lap counter. He knows where this is going at and where it's been playing to this whole time. Good Lord, man. The speeds these guys carry through is just absolutely incredible. Here's the fact, folks. These guys are running on only 2 sets of tires. They got one that they started on with and then a replacement for later on. And the fact that they are holding their line in as well as they are and still not making any mistakes whatsoever, honestly, that's just impressive to me. That takes a lot of street smarts, a lot of racing smarts, and honestly, just a whole lot of skill just to even keep that vehicle, that over with that 750 horsepower engines with all the weight inside, just to keep that online and stay without going to the wall protection as much as you would think most people would at this point. If it was an official race, you know that there would be a lot of folks right about now that would be having all that kind of trouble. Paul Durkee right now, the only guy that's trying to get up to Botma here, and Botma right now has been giving up a few tenths and hundredths of a second to him, but it hasn't been enough here so far. He knows he is just getting closer, so slightly and closer to being passed up if he's not careful. 6 laps to go. He's ran a solid race all night long. He's ran a pretty good battle all the way through and held up his position to the end of its days, and really has yet to been challenged, in my opinion, when it comes to who can outwit and outpace the other. Time is elapsing, time starting to finally expire away. Final laps are coming up on the track. Botma has taken over for third from Durkee, and Durkee right now, I gotta believe, is just all out of momentum and out of strength here. And I believe if you look right here at the way this has been set up, Botma's on much fresher tires than you see of Durkee there. 6 laps makes a huge difference, especially with this kind of racing, and he knows it. And unfortunately, though, it's just not been the way he was hoping it would shape out and plan out to be, as Carter Casey is just slowly but surely creeping his way up more towards Rick Spencer Wall, but Spencer has just been absolutely staying the heck away from everything and everyone. Has yet to really give up anything to these guys. As you see, I've already made that pass around. It looks like the 9 of Rick LePage. PTM Racing's 31 of Rick Spencer Wall has a good chance to take this one to victory lane. Carter Casey doing all he can, though, try to hold that from happening as the green flag flies high in the air. We've got 2 laps remaining. It has been a war of consistency. It's been a war of just staying loose from getting tight, and I don't think anybody did it better. So far, anyway, they're coming to the final laps in the top 3 at the moment, being Botma, Casey, and Spencer Wall. White flag is out, and it is not looking like anybody's going to come anywhere close to him. He just needs 2 more good turns after this one right here. Sends it down there, down the back straightaway here to turn 3, to turn 4. He's going to set this one up all to himself. Coming across there out of turn 4 to the finish. It's going to be Rick Spencer Wald who takes home this one. He is your race winner at Chicagoland. Rick Spencer Wald, no surprise here, puts it into victory lane, and well worth the effort and time, and he just knew he was really stabilizing that truck all the way through. He gave nothing to anybody and left nothing on the table for them to catch him with. And that right there is a true showmanship of a race winner indeed. And now, time for a little celebration over here. A little dance in the dirt, a little dance in the burnout. They start kicking up some smoke out there. Holy cow, he's really ripping that one up. Think he's pretty happy he won that one? I think he's kind of happy. All right, let's head it down here and take a look at our final results. Rick Spencer-Walt takes home the victory. Carter Casey goes second, third to Tyler Boatma, fourth to Paul Durkee, fifth to Mike McMillan, sixth to Kyle Jackson, seventh to Rick LePage, eighth to Stephen Naylor, ninth to Brian Doty, 10th to Robert Love, and finally, Justin Lawson will take home the 11th position to round out your field here tonight. So now we'll head it up down to our track here and see how our drivers held out, how it held it through here. We're going to head it down, see the top three here first. So let's go down and talk to our third place finisher and see if our hard charger would like to talk with us at the end here. Tyler Boatma has now hit up for the third place finish, so now let's take him down. Alright, he now joins me here into the call, into the chat here. This is Tyler Boatma in the 10, and I'm Tyler, I hope I'm saying your last name right, because I've been having troubles figuring it out the whole time tonight.
Oh, it's Botman. You're close enough.
Botma?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I did say Botma earlier on, but no one was answering me. If like, is it Botma or is it Boatma? I'm like, it sounds like a silent. Oh, but that's beyond the point. Anyway, Tyler, congratulations here, man, on a third place finish here. And besides the fact that I'm bad at butchering names, how did it feel really out on that track to run with these guys here?
No, it was fun. Good racing. I think just saved too much there at the beginning and bad pit entrance and exit on that first go round. And I got these guys up ahead and they're a little quicker, so.
They were indeed, but you were still pulling your weight around and really showing up what you could do. I gotta ask you though, you were a lot later to the pit roads than you were everyone else. Was that just strategy to try to get more full throttle assaults in, or were you just trying to maybe see if the truck can have any more momentum for later on?
Yeah, I was just trying to save a little bit of tires there at the last run. Didn't have enough laps. Kind of got up to them a little. Was working somewhat for strategy, but didn't pay off there at the end.
Man, not in this case, but still was worth the try and worth the effort, and racing, that's always what matters. So I gotta ask you, man, who do you want to thank you for this one?
What's that?
Who do you want to thank you for tonight's finish here?
Oh, this one goes out to Paul Durkee.
All right, Paul Durkee, you heard him. Bob rooting you on here tonight, man, and wanted you. But Bob, thanks again for tuning on in here tonight. Congratulations on your third place finish here. Great running and great showing here from your end.
Thanks, bud.
Ladies and gentlemen, Tyler Boatma taking home third place here in that 10 Toyota Tundra as we now head it down to our second place finisher here tonight. Before we talk with a hard charger, Carter Casey will now tune in with us here. He now joins us here in down pit road. And Carter, congratulations on a second place finish, putting that 2 Ford F-150 really in the hot spot and putting it up the fight. I know Rick Spencer-Walt was giving you a bit of a handful in those laps.
Yeah, it was a fun battle. It was back and forth between me and him all race, and I think I used my stuff up a little too early because I saw him getting away on that last run, and I kept up with him, but the tires were kind of gone, and he drove a hell of a race, so it was a fun time.
It was indeed, and that's one thing that always kind of matters around here. We always love to see is just good, clean, action-packed racing, and you get some good stuff. And I would say that was probably some of the better stuff for side-by-side duels we've seen on the show in quite some time. But was there really anything that kind of worried you in that race that you thought may even getting you a little bit more in trouble later on, or were you just trying to just hope for the best and make it stick?
I think I just got away from what I was doing all race at the last part, and it worried me once it was too late. I think it just burned up my tires. It was a little sketchy in 3 and 4. You had the balance between not hitting the apron and not smacking the wall off of 4, especially on the long run. So that kind of worried me was that wall off turn 4 for sure.
For sure there, but hey man, at the end of the day, still a second place finish and taking down that turn 4 wall and not bashing it like we unfortunately seen a few other drivers here tonight do. Who do you want to thank you for this finish, and how do you?
I just want to thank everybody for hosting this league, letting me be part of it. A lot of clean drivers in here, good guys, and yeah, just look forward to finishing the rest of the season out. Definitely appreciate them having me.
Definitely there, Carter. Thanks again for tuning on in here with us tonight, man. Congratulations on a second place finish.
All right, appreciate it, man.
Absolutely. Your second place finisher here tonight, Carter Casey, who takes this one home, and I believe we have not had any word from the hard charger, so we're presuming he will not be talking with us. We'll give him a little countdown here, but we will indeed hit it up to our race winner here tonight to end before we end tonight's race. So let's take it down here to Victory Lane where we see Rick Spencer Walt taking it home. And Rick, man, Slick Rick was in the house because you had to play some hard runs there with Casey.
Yeah, he messed up at the start there. I was up grabbing a beverage before the race, and I didn't change my steering box back, so I felt like I was wearing tires out. So I was kind of trying to be as easy as I could. I let him get to me a few times, and then I just, I had to push it really hard on the last set there to see what it would do.
You did indeed, and man, it looked like it ended up sticking quite well. What was kind of the thing that you saw the most of with the way the tires were from the start to the end there?
Well, I checked the setup out after. My tires actually were burning a lot more left rear off the truck, I guess, holding it down in the corners, but I felt like the right front was wearing. My fronts were definitely wearing more with the steering box being way lower than I would usually run. I had it that way for qualifying, and I should have changed it back, but it worked out.
It did indeed, and managed to get you to Victory Lane and holding off some pretty tough competitors and tough runners. Who do you want to thank you for this one here tonight?
Yeah, definitely PTM for putting it on and everything you guys do. Team Phantom, they let me race with them, and they've been helping me out with some setups, and we've been working together. CG, it's been good, man. They built this paint scheme for me. It's a pretty sweet looking truck. Another thing, a close guy in the team, Brandon, lost his grandfather this week, so I'd like to send out our condolences to him, and this race is for him, man.
Our condolences as well to Brandon's grandfather at this time and his family, and him especially. It's obviously hard to lose a family member, but I gotta believe this race win definitely is a little bit of a dedication to help him out and help him kind of cope with everything. So, Rick, good on you there for tonight, man, and congratulations on this first place finisher tonight.
Thanks, appreciate it.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, your race winner here tonight, Rick Spencer Walt. And it looks like that's going to wrap it up here tonight for our drivers. We did not get any word from the hard charger, which would have been Mike McMillan tonight. So we will go ahead and give him the graphic overlay here and make sure that he is known at least. And also, of course, to Brandon again, hope you're doing out there, buddy, and hope everything's okay. Hope and everyone here at PTM Racing TV wishes you nothing but the best, and their condolences and prayers to everyone at the time with the family. Everyone here as well from East Coast Racing Circuit. Great to see you guys back out here. Get some good shows out there. Always loved watching those super late model races and battles that came through there. The Truck Series definitely disappoints, and that was definitely proven here tonight. So that's about it here, folks. We will have the show up on YouTube, or if you're already watching on YouTube, first off, thanks for tuning in. Hope you've liked, shared, and subscribed here. If you're on Facebook, please like and follow us up here. Check up our YouTube status and our channels there as well. It's been great showing and great to have you all on board. For the next time we see you, it will be tomorrow night where we have doubleheader season coming our way. But for now, it's time to say goodbye. But God bless. Take care. We love you guys. Be good to each other. We'll see you next time when the green flag flies.